cutting your fingers in the kitchen, or a plain door falling from the sky we can't overcome. A force which affects everyone within existence in equal amounts.
Yo, what's going on with you guys? So today we're going to be reacting that might low-key give us an insight as to what Araki, the whole author, the whole mastermind behind Jojo Bizarre Adventure, what he's thinking of. Basically give us, as Jojo fans, a deeper dive into like how he thinks and like how he comes up with these characters and overall how he came up with Jojo. But that's just what I'm guessing, just based off the title of this video being, you know, the strongest stand in Jojo, according to Araki. So I'm guessing this video is going to be breaking down who Araki considers the strongest stand in Jojo and maybe even tell us why. I'm really interested to see who Araki considers the strongest stand in Jojo. I just hope it's not Dio. I feel like if it's Dio, me and Araki is gonna have a little problem. So yeah, man, let's check out this video and see what Araki considers the strongest stand in Jojo's.
Strongest stand in Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. This is a debate as old as stands themselves, as fans power scale and pit their abilities head to head.
I can only imagine people power scaling in Jojo's.
Even the characters within the series have questioned the power scaling of stands and have discussions about them, with Dio claiming some stands to be the weakest and others to be the strongest. And hell, I pretty much started making content because of these questions through my series of standoff videos. So it's
a lot of videos. I didn't even see all this. I'm gonna have to check this out.
Discussion to have.
Interesting. I think I've seen one of his videos, but I didn't see he made a whole.
Although the series creator Hirohiko Araki's approach to power is not as simple as one might think, as typically the strongest stands in the series, of course, belong to the main Jojos and main villains. As by the end of each part, it's a clash between their powers to see who will overcome. Although unlike other series, like say Dragon Ball for example, where a character's power is determined by a number or their pure strength and speed,
Goku,
the unique part about Jojo is that Araki approaches his characters in a completely different way than most series. As instead of making villains stronger as the series continued, he strived to make them different from what came before. As stands possess some of the most unique and bizarre abilities in all of manga, making it almost impossible to determine the outcome of certain encounters. Like the age-old question of Dio's time stop versus Diavolo's time skip. What would really happen if these two characters fought, and how would their powers interact? Sure, it can be fun to theorize and discuss, but it would never really answer the question of who is stronger. So for this dilemma, let's look towards Araki himself, the creator of these powers, and find out what stand.
That's interesting. There's one person who can stop time, and then another person can skip time. Because if they both activate their powers at the same time, wouldn't nothing happen? I don't know.
He considers to be the strongest ability he ever wrote, diving into some of the mind-bending ideas such as Crimson, Made in Heaven, D4C, and the Wonder of You.
Now, before he even breaks it down, let me just say who I think it is. I'm gonna go with Made in Heaven. What's his name? Pucci. I think that's gonna be his favorite. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Before we can uncover the strongest stand in Jojo, let's talk about the strongest way you guys can protect your online activity.
He got me
for anyone than ever to your home network. Able to see Surfshark. So getting back into the video, in the original Jojo universe, containing parts 1 through 6, when it came to the most powerful stands, Araki found that.
If you guys don't know, I'm actually right here at this point in the actual anime. This is where I'm at in the anime, reacting to it, so.
Depicting the forces of the world that cannot be seen through stand abilities to be the peak of his creativity. This is why the main villain's powers controlled the forces of time, fate, and gravity. These invisible forces woven into the fabric of reality, bending to
what's that guy from Incredibles?
Which is a truly terrifying idea. As Dio was able to stop time to all of those on Earth and possibly beyond, being able to temporarily exist in his own world. Kuro was able to rewind time, trapping his targets in a loop destined to relive their death. Diavolo was able to change fate by skipping through time, breaking free from his destined path. And Father Pucci, through evolving his stand to Sea Moon, was able to influence gravity and eventually time, accelerating time to a singularity point which reset the entire universe. So yeah, they're all pretty powerful abilities and complex ideas. But in terms of strongest, it depends on how we determine what makes a stand strong. Is it its ability to win in a fight, its ability to break the laws of nature, how much destruction it can cause, or how large of an impact the stand can have on the universe? As these stands can all be measured in different ways, although according to Araki, none of these stands are what he considers to be the strongest. Not even Gold Experience Requiem, which in theory could overwrite any of the previous.
Okay, I totally forgot about him. This is who I was thinking would have been his favorite stand. Most powerful stand.
Nullifying their ability.
Golden Experience guy.
So if none of these stands are the strongest, let's move into the alternate universe. In the 7th part of Jojo, Steel Ball Run, Araki would create Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, a stand with the ability to access an unlimited number of parallel worlds, pushing his depictions of these invisible forces to his absolute limits. Introducing
apparently, I think I did a reaction on it. He says that this is the most confusing stand. The idea of maybe the most confusing stand is the one that Araki likes the most,
as a canon within the series.
He knows it's going to confuse people.
As the stand user Funny Valentine could hop between dimensions, interacting with alternate versions of himself and others. And even pull people between dimensions, creating anomalies in space-time that I'm sure even Valentine himself couldn't fully comprehend. As a law of nature is that two people from alternate dimensions cannot exist within the same time and place, as their bodies will be forced together and obliterated out of existence, correcting the anomalies.
That's
Valentine, of course, being an exception to the rule, as his stand was able to bypass this phenomenon. So while D4C may not be as widely impacting as, say, Made in Heaven, I would definitely say it goes further beyond any original universe's stand's capabilities, being able to travel limitlessly between dimensions, which is a greater force than time itself. And as if this wasn't powerful enough, D4C eventually progresses further into D4C Love Train, using the power of Jesus Christ himself to manipulate the alternate universe's
no. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Once I hear someone say they use the power of Jesus Christ himself, for one, that's blasphemous, but let's just put it in anime form, then obviously you're going to be completely broken. I'm sorry.
Which is the invisible
There's nothing
flows
beyond
of
that,
positive and negative energy within the world.
That's insane.
Placing Valentine in a gap in space, unaffected by any negative energy within the universe.
This got to be his favorite stand.
The only ability that was able to overcome
I'm not sure if Araki's a Christian, but yeah, this got to be his favorite stand.
Was Tusk Act 4, which created an infinite source of energy, literally infinity, which could break through Love Train's interdimensional barrier and imbue him with the infinite spin, which controls time, gravity, and the ability to cross through dimensions, following Valentine no matter where he traveled, constantly pulling him back underground to where he was first struck by the attack, an ability Valentine could only describe as a calamity. So we are getting closer to the strongest stand, but even after all of these powers, Araki still does not consider any of them to be the strongest. And that brings us to part 8 and the Wonder of You, where Araki would write what he believes to be the strongest adversary.
I would have thought it would have been
in the author notes of Jojolion Volume 27, the final volume of the part, Araki would write, "Who's stronger, Godzilla or Ultraman?" That's always been on my mind ever since I fantasized about it.
I think, is Ultraman like the Japanese version of like the Power Rangers?
As a child. Even when writing JoJo, this type of topic is not something I can avoid. Who is the strongest villain? What is strength and what is peak fortune? I've decided that the strongest and most terrifying adversity one can face is called Calamity. Calamity attacks irrationally, but is actually bound by a certain logic and will encroach every person equally. It's too powerful, and trying to overcome it might in itself be beyond hope. So according to Araki, Calamity is the strongest ability, and in turn that would make the Wonder of You the strongest stand.
Okay,
but
interesting.
What does the Wonder of You actually do? Sure, something about Calamity and Chains of Logic, but
that kind of makes sense though. If he did an interview and he said that Calamity is probably the most powerful, and then come to find out the Wonder of You is Calamity, then I'd also agree that Wonder of You might be Araki's, most powerful stand that he created.
Really do. Sure, something about Calamity and Chains of Logic,
but, like I said,
what really is Calamity, and how does the stand use it?
Point.
So like pretty much every other stand we have discussed, the Wonder of You does not create Calamity. Same as Valentine does not create other dimensions, and Diavolo does not create fate. Their stands are merely tools that allow them to manipulate a force that already exists. So Calamity on its own is already a force within the alternate world of JoJo, same as time and gravity. So the Wonder of You is essentially able to manipulate Calamity energy and redirect it at will, specifically towards anyone who chooses to pursue Toru or the head doctor, which is just another physical form of the stand. But where does Calamity energy come from, and why is it so powerful? In this alternate universe, Araki explores the philosophy of existence and what it truly means to exist, as everything in this world that exists is trapped within a balance of positive and negative energy. This concept can be viewed as the alternate recreation of fate from the original universe. In Golden Wind, why do bad things happen to good people? Because fate exists.
I ask myself that question all the time, man.
A predetermined destiny caused by unseen forces. In the alternate universe, why do bad things happen to good people? Because they exist within the flow of Calamity, and everything within this flow is at the mercy of the balance of positive and negative forces. This is all pretty much an overcomplicated interpretation of good and bad luck, but viewed in a way that binds these irrational occurrences to a universal logic. So think of existence as a bubble. sealed off and inescapable, and within the bubble is an equal amount of positive and negative energy, perfectly balanced like a yin and yang sign. And everything which exists is also within the bubble, bouncing around in unpredictable paths, encountering an equal amount of positive and negative energy at random moments. And the wonder of usability is simply to trap someone within the negative energy, an inescapable flow of calamity, which in a way is a manipulation.
The way you put it like that, basically, it's like living in hell.
Manipulation of fate by controlling the path
You're
of
doomed
one's
to fail,
existence.
pretty much.
But this ability in practice isn't necessarily more powerful than any of the previously mentioned stands, especially the past main villains. It's just harder to overcome. As in the manga, its power is visualized by characters encountering bouts of bad luck, such as knocking into things, getting hit by a car, cutting your fingers in the kitchen, or a plane door falling from the sky and hitting things.
Yo, she cut her fingers. That's crazy bad luck.
Plane door falling from the sky.
Like, because it's not just one finger she cut off. She cut off like 1, 2. No,
and hitting
that's crazy.
Just completely random occurrences of bad luck as a result of being
the wonder of
placed in
using
that
menace.
Flow. So I believe the reason why Araki claims Calamity to be the strongest adversary is because of how universal and overwhelming it is. Dio stopping time is powerful, and it does stop time for everyone, but
as long as it's not Dio, I'm okay with it.
Effects. And the same for King Crimson and D4C. Made in Heaven is kind of the exception here, but that's more of a one-time usability that just resets everything and that's over. Calamity, on the other hand, is a representation of literally all of the negative energy in existence. It's irrational.
Did she cut off her arm with Calamity? You know,
unpredictable, and could affect anyone at any time to varying degrees. If we say that Araki's philosophy of positive and negative flows is how the world really works, then you, me, and everyone else watching this video have encountered the power of Calamity in some form. It affects our lives in tangible ways and leaves in its wake pain and sorrow. It's completely unavoidable and something we can't overcome. A force which affects everyone within existence in equal amounts. And I believe it's for this reason why Araki considers this power to be the strongest.
Araki.
So I don't necessarily think Araki is saying the Wonder of You is the strongest stand in JoJo. Rather, the force it's able to control is the most powerful concept Araki has explored so far in his writing. Far greater than time, fate, gravity, and parallel dimensions. So by default, that might actually mean that Soft and Wet Go Beyond is the strongest stand in JoJo, as its ability allows it to exist outside of reality and go beyond Calamity itself. But does that also mean the stand could go beyond time and gravity? I'm not so sure. So I guess the debate can continue forever and always for who is the strongest stand in JoJo. And maybe in the JoJo lands, Araki will write something even more powerful than Calamity. And that is the strongest stand in JoJo, according to Araki himself.
So we got Calamity.
Thank you all so much for watching the video, and be sure to leave a comment your case for the strongest stand in JoJo.
Nice. Okay, so it looks like Araki considers Calamity to be the most powerful ability in JoJo. So overall, this is a pretty good breakdown of what Araki might consider the strongest stand in Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit surprised to find out that, you know, Araki considers Calamity to be the most powerful thing, and how Calamity, you know, fits well with Wonder of You stand. I actually did a breakdown of the Wonder of You stand. From all the information I gathered from that Wonder of You stand, it definitely seems super OP, so I'm not surprised that Araki might consider the Wonder of You to be one of the most powerful stands in JoJo's. I'm just low-key really interested to hear from Araki himself. If there's any like interviews that Araki has done recently that has obviously English subtitles, I'd really want to hear that, just to see how he talks and like understand how he thinks about making his different JoJo characters. I don't know, I'm just the kind of person I am. I like to really understand the author's like brain, how it works sometimes. But yeah, this is a really good video breakdown of the most strongest stand according to Araki. And yeah, man, that's all I got for this video reaction, man. If you guys are new, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and we out.